Hello, hello. Let's see if this works. Hi. Hello, Divine Souls. Hi. So I'm just jumping on quickly to have a little bit of a, I don't like the word rant, just a bit of an open conversation with a few open-ended questions for you all. Hi. Hey, Kit. It's been a while. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in, guys. All right, so I get a lot of questions, and I apologize if, I'm not able to answer everything and everyone, but a lot of them are the same. And so I thought I'd just pop on and have a chat about one of the biggest topics, which is intuitive eating. Intuitive eating. So with this topic, it can be quite, what's the word? Triggering. That's the word, triggering. It can be quite triggering because when we talk about, and everything I talk about is triggering, by the way. If you don't know me already, that's what I do. But always with love. So first of all, anything that I share and anything that I talk about, all the questions that I ask, all of it is from the heart. It is done with no judgment. We've all been there. I've been there. I don't care what you eat, what you don't eat, your beliefs, all of that. We all come from a different background. We've all done all kinds of stuff, and everything is okay. It is a journey, and as cliche as it sounds, it actually is a journey, a path that we take, that we embark, and our soul's evolution is what is, number one here. So that being said, again, no judgment, intuitive eating. What do you understand by intuitive eating? Now, I know if you want to comment, go ahead. Hopefully I'll catch it. But otherwise, you can also comment later below this post if you wanted to add anything in, or your thoughts, your experiences, that sort of thing. But these are just some rhetorical questions for you to enjoy. What do you believe the highest, if this is what you believe to be true, the highest consciousness beings on this planet, aka apparently us, what do you believe we, as these light beings, these higher consciousness beings, these highly evolved and intelligent beings, should be eating, consuming? So there's one. Now, intuition is something that it's a word that's thrown around a lot. And, and we all think that we do things intuitively. And that is okay. It may be not. But my question to you would be, is it you? Is it the real you? Is it your higher self? Is it your soul speaking? Or is it what is within the vessel, the more dense physical aspect of your being that is literally, quote unquote, speaking? When you intuitively make that decision, when you crave something, when you desire something that perhaps you know or you do not know, and that is okay, that is good for you, that is necessary for your vessel, to heal, to function, to fuel it, and to thrive. So there's another question for you. Now, usually what I say to the beautiful souls that do come and have a chat to the Crazy Nova is, if they ask me, okay, so should I be eating, I don't know, should I be eating broccoli? And I say, well, that's not for me to answer, and I don't give directives. What I like to do, hi, thank you for coming on. So what I like to do is actually empower you, ask you open-ended questions, put things into perspective so that you can stand in your own divine sovereignty and make that decision from a different place. Perhaps, or perhaps not. It's up to you, right? So, broccoli, for example, which I get a lot, should I be eating broccoli? Well, okay, if you're asking me and my perspective and my experience and my personal and professional experience, do I eat broccoli? Not really. The answer is not really. Not much, perhaps, is a better answer. I still do occasionally have it raw if it's out and it's like a gourmet raw meal, because I do eat fully raw at this point in time, and I've done so solidly for a few months, not so solidly for a couple of years, on and off with the little bits of cooked food and so on. I've experimented, and that has been my journey. So in the same way now with these foods, the way that I guide myself intuitively is with the question that now I ask my beautiful soul clients. Would you eat the broccoli, for example, if you found it out in nature as it is, as it is grown? Would you pick it up? Would it entice you to go pick it up and munch on it? Number one. And then, if you did pick it up, take some bites out of it, chew it, and eat it, do you feel that, how does it make you feel? That's the second question, I guess. How does that piece of broccoli that you just ate, as it is in nature, as it is divinely hydrated and in its full form with full life force, right? So as you consume that, how does your body react to it? How does your body digest it, assimilate it, eliminate it? Number one, eliminate it. How long does it take for your body to eliminate what you're putting in? Because in essence, we are all constipated, and constipation is literally number one, the root here of most of our, if not all of our dis-ease, right? And that's chronic constipation. That doesn't mean that you don't go to the toilet. It means that over the decades, you haven't gone as much as you have put in, and therefore you have accumulated over the decades, right? So elimination is key. Now, when you clean the vessel out and you clear the intestinal tract and you clear the terrain that surrounds each of the trillions of cells in your body that make up every single organ, tissue, gland, muscle, bone, brain, anything. When you start to clear that by feeding it the right, highest vibrational, highest electromagnetic energy, hydrated, divine, full form foods, right? And your body eliminates, and you will not believe how much it eliminates. Months and months, and you will still be pooping solid. Just saying. So, even a skinny person, by the way. How long does the food that you are consuming in its natural state, how long does it take to process and eliminate? So these questions, and I hope this puts a lot of things into perspective for you. Hi, thank you for joining. They're very vital because we have lost, as a species, we have lost our way. We have lost our way. We think that intuitive eating is, well, what we feel, that we crave, that we miss, that we're attached to. Do you see that? And where is that actually coming from then? Because if you're craving things that are not natural, then is it really your intuition speaking? Now, if you have built your vessel, which most of us have over the decades, if you've built it on food that is pus, mucus forming simply meaning that it is acidic and it creates an immune response within the vessel immediately to buffer the acid that's coming in. All right? The stuff that doesn't belong. If you've accumulated over the decades, these layers of obstruction through the mucus, through the foods that are not being eliminated appropriately, right? And it starts caking. It starts drying up. And that's not just in the whole digestive tract, but between the cells, interstitially. The terrain surrounding each cell starts to get that constipation as well. So it's a full body constipation, right? When you have a dirty terrain, who thrives? Who thrives in a dirty terrain? Is it your cells? Do they thrive in a dirty terrain? No. It's the bacteria. It's the parasites. It's the other lower frequency, very dense creatures. It's the microorganisms that are going to thrive in that environment, and they are there to assist in the removal, the breakdown, the buffering, and the removal of that waste. They are not there for any other reason. They have their purpose. So, they also have their own consciousness. So who, another question, who is actually intuitively eating? And I'm doing this with love because we all have them or have had them, and we all have had those cravings. But when you remove those guys, when you remove those microorganisms that feed off of that density, off of that mucus, off of that dirty environment, right? When you clean that, you clean them, and you clean what causes, what houses them, then you do not crave. Well, you don't crave them physically, these different foods that you craved in the past. But in order for that to happen, you really need to spend time. It's not a quick fix. Oh, that's the other thing. It's not a quick fix. There is no magic pill. The decades of accumulated stuff have to come out. That's why we can't trust what we feel right off the bat. We must observe the feelings. We'll notice they're coming from ego. Yes, from parasites. Yes, that's right. Who is speaking? Who is intuitively speaking when you're intuitively eating? So that's a big one, right? But the main one to take away, I think, to be able to stand in your power, is to have the knowingness that as the higher consciousness being that you are, would you consume that food that you are craving, that you are intuitively led to eat? Would you consume that in its natural state, in the wild, without fire, with what God gave you? With what God gave you. Would you? Because every other species on this beautiful planet eats its species-specific diet in its natural state. And they do not show the same diseases as we do unless their environment has been intoxicated, which is pretty much what's happening as well in certain areas. If the environment has been toxic due to human intervention, human spills, human chemicals, runoffs, etc., etc. Right? So, should fruits and vegetables be consumed in their natural form, or is making a smoothie okay? Look, again, smoothies and juices, these are tools that we use. That's the other question I get a lot, so thank you so much for that. There are tools that we can use to assist in the cleansing of the vessel. Right? So when we have insulted our divinity, and I say that with love, again, please, I know that this is a very triggering subject. When we have insulted our vessel by consuming the wrong foods in their wrong state for so long, and we have accumulated so much crap, and not just in our own lifetime, but generationally. If you haven't seen my live on Pottinger's Cats, it is somewhere down on my Instagram page. If you would like it, you can comment below and I'll send you the link via message later. Very eye-opening stuff. So, and I lost where I was going. Oh, please do remind me. You're tapped in. Great job. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Divine Soul. And it's all resonance. Look, it's what resonates with your soul, with your higher self. If it's not for you, it's not for you at this point in time. And that is okay. That is the journey. Again, it's duality of creation. And whether we call it positive or negative, it is just the experience that we are having here. So feeding your cat raw meat. Yes. That's what I was talking about. Thank you for that. So the only other animals that are having the exact same issues as we are, as a species, issues, dis-ease, illnesses, are our pets, are the animals that the humans are producing for human consumption. So they are feeding them. Anything that the human is literally feeding, any animal, unless they are feeding them their natural diet in their natural state, then you will see the same diseases in that species. You will see the aging, you will see the arthritis, you will see the cancers, you will see all of it. All of it. Hair loss, bone structure differences, sexual differences. That is another massive topic for another day if anyone is interested. But the key here is to really stand in your own power. And that's what I wanted to say today. So I don't want to be here too long. I'm also very heavily censored. So it's quite interesting when I do lives now. There's not much reach, but that's okay. Thank you. So those were the things that I just wanted to share today on intuitive eating. Who is actually asking for that food that you want? Where is it coming from? And if you were built on that stuff, you're going to crave it. And if you were built on that stuff and you have symptoms, that means that your inner terrain is quote unquote filthy. And I'm saying it with all my love, because once you know that, then you hold the power to clean it out. And how do you clean it out? Species-specific diet in its natural state. Use tools, juices, smoothies, herbs, practices that we can accelerate and we can assist our vessels so much. But it's going to take time anyway. And that's the other thing I wanted to get to, because a lot of people, even in the alternative holistic health, even on their journey, we know that it's going to take some time. The older you are, probably the longer. But it varies. It varies with your genetic weaknesses, with what you've already been handed down. It's a generational issue in your tissue that needs to be cleaned out, and it's going to take time. But you gotta keep going. You cannot say that it doesn't work for you if you have not committed fully. And once you do, you got to realize that as you clean out your vessel from all that icky, sticky stuff, that icky, sticky stuff that was accumulated has been buffering, has been keeping you safe from your own consumption of crap, of acid waste. So when you clean your vessel and you make it squeaky clean, you make that crystalline divinity, that beautifully clean, hydrated, highly electromagnetic vessel. If you start to go back into some cooked foods, if you start bringing in other things, stimulants, drugs, smoke, doesn't matter what you're smoking, it's still smoke, it's acidic. If it's not in its natural state and it is not of your species specific diet, it will cause some sort of reaction. You may or may not feel it, depending on how filthy your terrain is inside. If you are very filthy, you may not have an immediate response, but you will have it internally. But the reason why you will not notice it, if you say, well, I eat bread every day and I don't get mucus when I eat bread. Yes, because you eat it every day and you've eaten it for decades. So your body is accustomed, it has created a mucus, probably a very dried, hardened mucus film, right? That is lining certain areas within the gut of your vessel. So a little more is not going to do much. You're not going to feel it straight away, right? Because there's already there's a wall, there's an obstruction. So it's a catch. And the message is, when you start clearing your vessel of all those obstructions, of all those impacted old mucus and fecal matter and all of those densities, those lower vibrational frequencies, when you remove those and clear the pathway, you clear your vessel. If you then partake of certain foods, quote unquote, the things that you used to partake of before, which just cooked foods, just foods that have been altered, then your vessel will react very swiftly, and you will feel it straight away, whether it's a mucus response, whether it's a rash, whether it's like some feeling like you're getting sick, right? Swollen. Why are these swelling? That's the gateway. If this feels like it's swelling, it's not because you've got some boogeyman inside you. That boogeyman's it's always there. If the terrain's filthy, that's when they proliferate. If you bring in toxic things into the body and the body is clean enough, it will immediately try to remove it. So, I'll leave it at that. But these are just some, I guess, thought-provoking questions for yourself, for your higher self, not for the ones down in here that may be wriggling around and eating your filth, if you have it, which we've all had it, and we all have some, but it's easy to remove. So stand in your sovereignty, remove what doesn't belong, and don't insult your vessel. That's my message today.